Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to bring you two Universal Titans trying to take down Galactus. And this first one is Thor, and I'm actually so surprised and impressed by Thor's output and Thor's performance against Galactus. Now, I don't mean to hype Thor up too much because this is a battle that you get to do once a week. It's literally one time per week that you get to use Thor against Galactus, but for all the times that I've ragged on him recently, saying that he's kind of fallen off, and while he doesn't compare to Thanos and Captain Marvel as Universal Tier 3s in terms of their dual output for PvP and PvE, he's not as far as I thought he would be. He's definitely not a slouch, and he definitely outperforms Silver Surfer for GBR. So I was quite shocked, I was quite surprised. I have to kind of quietly and sort of privately wonder if maybe Tier 3 characters get an extra boost against Galactus in some way, because I'm just surprised with both Silver Surfer and Thor with a CTP of Rage. Thor was like outclassed Silver Surfer by a long shot. So this is the team up. I'm using Hyperion for the 5% team up bonus with Thor, the kind of bearded bro bonus. And then on top of the fact that we have White Fox for the 60% extra damage to supervillains because Thor has the leadership. So he's rocking a pretty solid team up, but there's no Nick Fury, there's no Coulson, so it is a bit of difficulty, but he is using a CTP of Rage. The build is not optimized for Rage, I think, because we're a little bit high on the crit rate, given that he gets an extra 40% or 25% from his fourth skill, but it is something that I will tweak in the future. But damn, Thor is putting it down. Now, this particular run, as you're seeing right now, I got lucky. We got lucky. There was a bit of a glitch, and Galactus didn't go to the phase in the middle where he pulls in those energy orbs to heal himself. So we skipped that energy orb phase, so that's why this run is going incredibly fast right now. We're only at 2 minutes, and he's basically already dead. But you can see I was pretty much in first place the entire time. And I'm going to have to run off these stats for you very quickly before we go into the next match with Silver Surfer. But I just want to let you guys know, not only was I first place, but in about 109 seconds, because in total it was a 2 minute and 19 second clear, but I calculated it and there was 30 seconds of dead time where I wasn't attacking. Thor was doing 275,000 DPS. That was 275,000 damage per second, and he out DPS'd a Tier 3 Namor with Wave with a CTP of Rage, and he out DPS'd a Tier 3 Jean Grey with Ghost Panther, who had a CTP of Destruction, the Jean Grey. So yeah, he did a damn fine job indeed. Now moving along to Silver Surfer, here we're using a CTP of Destruction, so that's why we're trying to proc on 5, cancel 4, and this is with the Ronin Leadership and Shuri. And for these next two runs, we're going to be using Silver Surfer. This is my Silver Surfer with his first and his last gear at 25. I boosted them up after the video yesterday. And then his second and third gears, which are defensive, at 22. He's got the CTP of Destruction. He's got like a stage 12 Power of Angry Hulk. And he's got, I think, type 3 enhancement for his, his type enhancement. It's at rank 3, but it doesn't matter because Galactus is a universal type. And then Ronin's leadership is giving him 50% all attack and 36% all defense and some ignore dodge. I don't think he needs it. And then Shuri's just giving him the standard 35-45 split. Now, I gotta say, okay, overall, my overall reaction to Silver Surfer and GBR against Galactus is that he's bad. Just straight up, I don't think there's any way to make Silver Surfer good or even great against Galactus. But I have to say, with this CTP of Destruction, every time I check, the damage is embarrassing. It's not bad, it's embarrassing. I struggle to put up 5 million damage in almost 2 minutes of action. 5 million. That's, a sixth of what Thor put up literally in this time, in almost 2 minutes and change, because that's how long that last fight took. So it's pretty incredible that he has more time and he's doing like a fraction of the damage. Now again, it could be Tier 3, but it also could be the fact that he has slightly less of a boost. So Thor had a 45% leadership and a 60% increase to villains, whereas Silver Surfer only has a 50% bonus, so it's 5% more, but then he doesn't have the team up, so it's basically equal. But then instead of the 60%, he only gets 45% from Shuri. But damn, I don't think Silver Surfer is good for GBR at all, for Galactus specifically. He's fine for Master Mold, and you can use him on any day because he's a universal type, so he'll always have the advantage over Blast, Speed, and Combat. But I was just really disappointed with his damage overall. I scored, I'm in last place, obviously, but he's only able to put up, in this entire fight, which is like more than 3 minutes long, I was only able to put up 10 million damage. So you basically add 60 seconds to his time compared to Thor's, and he does 1/3 of Thor's damage. So you can chalk this up to not having a CTP of Rage. Maybe we chalk this up to not having a uniform, but honestly, I just think that this further identifies, you know, the all defense down is a really important mechanic for GBR, and recognizing that characters who take advantage of the all defense down to express their damage and their power in something like World Boss don't always translate to other game modes. You know, Thor doesn't require all defense down, and so when he hits hard, that's just his base damage. Same thing goes with Captain Marvel. So that was the fight there. We end up going over and switching his CTP of Destruction for a CTP of Rage, because I'm curious, you know, is it really the Rage that's helping my characters do Giant Boss Raid Galactus, or is there something else going on? I checked his stats really quickly, and I noticed, you know, the crit rate's really, really high, but the dodge is really low. It's only 45%. Now, it's kind of a bummer I can't get his crit rate to be lower and his dodge to be higher, because he has crit rate on Power of Angry Hulk, and he gets like 40% crit rate from his fourth or his fifth skill. So you could definitely drop his crit rate a lot and it would be fine. So I wouldn't give him any crit rate Uru, and I don't have any yet on him. But this is now testing him out with a CTP of Rage. And the first thing you'll notice is that it takes a long time to trigger the first proc. And that is because he doesn't have that many skills that hit a lot besides 5 and 4. Like 5, the 5th skill and the 4th skill have a lot of hits, but you don't want to use those skills when the Rage proc is not active, because you'll lose that damage. So I was trying to proc, and maybe that's my mistake, but I was trying to proc his Rage CTP on 1 and 2, and then when it activated, I would immediately cancel into 5, and then I would wait a little bit and then do 3. So that was kind of the strategy, but it didn't work very well. He just doesn't have enough hits on 1 and 2. There's just too much time in between. And his third skill is obviously really awkward for most PvE content, because it's hard to land that skill. So you're really working with 4 skills. And then 2 of those skills deal all the damage, so you don't want to use them when the proc is inactive. And then 2 of them don't do a lot of damage, but they don't have a lot of hits either, so it's hard to actually trigger the proc. And here you can see I miss it completely, so I decided to go to the 5th skill. I missed that completely, so we actually only end up proccing on his 4th skill for the CTP of Rage. So that exposes another weakness that Silver Surfer specifically has with Rage, is that his skills that hit a lot are also his most damaging skills, so they're not going to benefit from Rage as much, because you can't trigger it with other skills. You know, with Captain Marvel, it's much easier, for example, or with Thanos, because his hits have delay, and there's so many hits on his 4th and 5th skill combo for Thanos. And in the case of Captain Marvel, you can spam 2, you can spam 3. They're both on low cooldown with tons of hits. But that's just not the case for Silver Surfer. And so, yeah, the damage, I mean, is a little bit better. It's definitely better than it was. I believe it's about twice as good. Right now I'm at 10 million damage, and we're about halfway through the fight, so I've already caught up to his previous run with the CTP of Destruction. So you could say that the CTP of Rage, specifically for Galactus GBR, because he has such a high level, he has so much defense, is probably about twice as good as a CTP of Destruction. That doesn't mean any other CTP. I would guess that a CTP of Energy would actually be pretty close to a CTP of Rage, because Silver Surfer has a very nice 5 cancel 4 combo, lots of chain hit damage to take advantage of. But unfortunately, well, unfortunately and fortunately, he doesn't seem to be good for the CTP of Rage at all. I don't think there's any reason to. I'm going to test him out against World Boss with the CTP of Rage, but I am guessing that if his performance is this bad against Galactus, it's not going to be impressive with, you know, against Cull Obsidian or Thanos World Boss Ultimate. You know, Rage has to be substantially better than Destruction for it to be worth it, because it's such a rare CTP. And because other characters can utilize it to so much greater effect. You know, if you give CTP of Rage to like Mr. Fantastic or Thor or Captain Marvel, their damage like triples, quadruples. It's this crazy increase. Having a double damage increase on 10 million, which is such a low number against the GBR boss, is really not impressive at all. And so, yeah, I would say pretty confidently that the CTP of Rage is not good. I wasn't even double. I was 16 million. That's a joke. With CTP of Rage on Silver Surfer. So I'm going to do a little bit more testing with Silver Surfer in World Boss Ultimate, but my impression right now is that the CTP of Rage is bad for him, and that would leave either Destruction or Energy for PvE content for CTPs, or possibly a CTP of Regen or Authority for PvP, with Destruction being sort of mixed, sort of a best option. And that's also good because then it opens up more options for him for Obelisks if the CTP of Rage specifically doesn't work, because the CTP of Rage is basically the only CTP that can't be replicated, the stats can't be replicated, and the effect can't be replicated with an Obelisk. So that's a really good sign for people that are building up Silver Surfer. It doesn't seem like the most gamble-inducing CTP, and the rarest CTP actually makes him better than he already is, especially by a significant amount. So let me know what you guys think of this surprise twist. Is Thor better than Silver Surfer? Subscribe if you enjoyed the content, you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you later today. Take care.